as human beings. We tend to get all excited when there's activity, but that activity doesn't necessarily translate into income. And it's very easy to have all that busyness, and if you're not creating income opportunities out of those relationships, then there's a piece of the puzzle that's missing, and it typically, I feel like, is what's called the call to action. And so with your case, it is imperative, and I say imperative because you're kind of in this fork in the road where you're starting from practically the bottom because you don't have a database. You with 100% certainty have to be able to communicate that value of what you bring to the table and leverage that into referrals and relationships almost instantaneously. Because without it, you're going to have these meetings and they're going to go great, but then at what point do those meetings not translate into, at what point do the meetings translate into actual referable clients and closable deals?
Yep, I agree. Absolutely. Yep.
So
no, I couldn't agree more.
I'm super excited.
Well, like I said, that's I mean, I'm less uncomfortable. Once I've sat down all that stuff afterwards, a second, but I mean, to never have sat down with or talked to them, so right. I think I mean, for me, this is the biggest hurdle to even get to sit with them. I think after that, for me personally, with my style, it's easier to follow up and to call the action. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem asking for business, but I've had apparently problem whenever asking for a cup of coffee and touching base. So that's pretty cool.
What I know that one of the things that Margot wanted to hear today was what does the conversation look like when you actually go to lunch or grab coffee with a realtor? And I definitely want to open it up to everybody because I know Dave Flashner's on the call, and I know Dave does some networking, and I'd love to hear what he says to his agents and how he communicates his value, as well as from what Margot says. Because I think getting the appointments is half the battle. The other half, which I think, actually I don't think it's half, I think getting the appointment is about 30% of the battle. The other is being able to establish enough rapport with the referral source, this realtor, and as an example, to be able to give you closable deals. And at what point do you measure them? I mean, at what point do you actually look at it and say, you're worth it and you're not worth it?
Well, what's cool about this is 3 of them are the actual brokers. You know what I mean? So,
yep, that's what you said.
If I phrase it correctly, I mean, it's not just the opportunity to work with them, but who in their office is trying to build their business, you know what I mean?
Right.
Who in your office, can you think of that's trying to build their business and wants to get their, buyers to the closing table?
Right. Right. Hey, Scott, you know what I forgot to ask? I forgot to ask you this yesterday. What is your target volume for January? Right now, I only have you closing about a $77,000 loan right now.
Exactly. It was set up 3, so I'm setting up with the 1.
Okay.
Just 1. So
everybody
better pick it up, is what you're telling me.
Well, you're at 42% of the goal that you should have hit. So you should have closed about $413,000 for January, and you're only going to close $77,000. So you definitely, without question, have to you have to ramp it up until these meetings with these realtors. There's a good chance that February is going to be dismal if you don't have activity in your pipeline today.
Yep, I agree. No, I agree. That's why I have with 9 pre-approvals. I could have 7 of them. Write contracts this weekend, and then our conversation in 2 weeks is, I'm way over my numbers.
Right.
I'm working, brother. I'll tell you, the boats are burned. You got me on. Maybe a couple steps behind for December, January, but we'll be all right.
You remember that? What was that movie? It was what movie was it? Oh, have you ever seen the movie Heartbreak Ridge with Clint Eastwood?
Oh yeah, love it. I'll tag you that if you love it, but it's cool.
Yeah, that movie is one of my favorites, and there's that scene when the one goofy guy ends up firing his M16 down the firing line, and he ends up making him run laps around the platoon as they march back to the barracks with the gun over his head.
Yep.
You're going to be that guy if I don't see some more volume coming out of you.
Absolutely. Hey.
I know you said you burned your boats, buddy, but if you have another 42% month in February, you and I are going to have some separate conversations because I'm not going to let you fall behind. I refuse to allow you with all the talent that you have, to fall behind. No way. No way in
Yep.
God's green earth am I going to let that happen.
Good thing, 'cause man, the way I'm paying you, you better keep me in line, bud. No,
You better hope to God you're not running laps around the platoon.
all I got to say is I'll bet you a drink wherever we're going for next year. First drink's on me if I don't hit my goals. Your drinking tab's on me when we go to not to Savannah.
No.
Scott,
You're going to
you
do
hear
it
me?
for the whole group. Scott, you're going to do it for the whole group. Everybody that's on this call, you're going to buy everybody a drink of their choice at the next conference.
Absolutely. And I will, absolutely. Whatever. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm not failing. Failing is not an option.
All right, good. Well, because what I understand is Dave Flashner is really big into that 20 to 30-year scotch, which is like $80 to $90, $80 to $90 a shot. So trust me when I say that.
I thought this was McDonald's, and that's going to allow you guys to supersize it. No?
No. Not even close.
The dollar menu. Supersize it, baby. Come on,
buddy. Nope. We all heard you, buddy. You're all, and I'm recording this call too.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I will send you this play.
You want it? Put it in writing, baby. We'll have as much screensaver, and we'll start. I'm telling you. You think I'm kidding?
So hey, listen. I know Dave Flashner.
Oh, go ahead.
What's that?
That's it. I'm ready. Sorry.
Okay. What I was going to say is, I know Mr. Flashner's on the call and he's unmuted. I got a call or an email from Dave a little bit ago that said he's absolutely buried. Is that true, Dave?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm. My January wasn't very good. I've only closed 2 loans in January, so don't feel too bad that you're not started off in the year. That's just I think now that I've got consistency and stats to compare from a couple of years now, it just makes sense why January would be slow, because our Januaries are going to reflect on what we do in December. And my phone wasn't ringing in December. I was closing a lot of loans in December, and that's from November and October. But, people aren't getting pre-quals in December because they've got all the holiday season. It's a tough time of the year for people to get pre-quals, which is going to reflect on our January. So I had a slow month. I know, if you're not consistently closing, 10, 12 loans a month, you're going to go down to that. For me, I'm a 6 to 7 guy. I went down to 3 to 2. Which is a slow month. But now that period of slowness is gone, and I mean, I took 40 loan apps in the last 18 days.
What?
How many did you take?
I got 40 different clients call me in the last 18 days. I denied some of them. I don't have, they're not all pre-approved, but I got 40 different leads, 39 to be exact, and I got 2 more today. So
Before you go any farther, I just need to do one little bit of housekeeping. What's the total volume for you in January, loan volume?
Ugh, I'm embarrassed.
What is it?
353,000.
Okay, and you know that your goal for January was around 918,000 in order to hit your goal of 16 million.
If all goes well, I'll make up for that in February.
There you go, brother.
Well, if all goes well, you and I will be having that conversation together.
Yeah, I've already gotten the pipeline right now for that month. For February, 730,000. It's already submitted.
Awesome.
And like I said, I've got, out of those 39 different leads that I got in the last, this month alone, if I close 4 of them, I'll get another, 600 to 800,000. I should be at my quota at the end of February, which would make up for January. It just it helps me.
You should be almost at
next year.
You got to close $1.5 million in February, 1.5 to 1.6 in February to be on track.
Correct, and I'm aware of that. That number, that's my goal. But it also allows me next year when I set my goals. It's realistically, I'm not going to close $1 million in January. I'm going to take that number and say, you know what? It's going to be a slow month. I'm probably going to close, 400 to 500,000 in that month, because that's a realistic number now. I think me putting myself up I set myself up to failure by putting that $1 million month.
Right. Well, I recreated it based on statistics that Kevin and I went through, and we believe that every month is different. Like January, you're closing about 5.5% of your goal based on the seasons, but by November, you're targeting almost 9.5%. So you're closing under $1 million in January, but you're closing 1.5 or 1.6 in October, September, October, November. So your momentum leading up to it means whatever you did to get those 40 leads, which we're going to get into here in a second, is what is going to carry you throughout the year. And whatever you're doing is what you have to continue to do. And if it's simply just being around and asking people for business, then there's your entire business plan for 2016. You don't even have to get into what we discussed.
Mm-hmm.
So what was it? I mean, to get 40 leads in the first 20 days of the month, I mean, that's 2 a day.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
What have you done since December 1st? I mean, what has been your marketing ploy, or what have you been doing in order to justify that volume of leads?
You're going to hate my answer.
I'm probably going to, but it's still the truth, right?
I haven't done anything differently than I did last year. Every single one of these leads, and I mean every one of them, has an RR next to it. I'm sorry, there's 2 that have my online, presence from Zillow, and
so they're all realtor referrals.
Every one of them has an RR next to it. I don't have any. I got one. So I started this. I'm going to start doing a monthly mailer, and I did the lotto thing just to get into my database. And I'm going to start tracking that, and I'm going to start doing my touches, like we said. One snail mail a month, and then a couple calls a year, and just see if I can dip into my past referrals. So I sent out 140 lotto tickets.
Nice.
I got, unfortunately, I don't think I got 3 phone calls saying thank you. So I sent $140 with the lotto tickets. 3 people responded to me. So either the mailman stole 137 of them, or people don't care. Okay, so I don't know how to take that. You would think that people, if someone sent me a lotto ticket, I'd immediately call them to say thank you. But people are just too busy. But out of the 3, 1 person asked me to refinance.
So say that one more time. Out of the 3, 1's going to do business with you?
1 tried to. I can't refinance her because it doesn't make sense. But she at least, it was amazing. It was like the first call I got, hey Dave, thank you so much. Do you remember me? I was like, of course. She's like, I was just thinking of you. Could we refinance? I was like, holy shit, this works. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, the first person that called me out of my database that I've been sending a mailer to called me, and it just so happened to be there was no room for her to refinance. But the point is, she called me, and I got 2 other people say thank you, and it's only been a week, so maybe they will, and I've got faith in society that somebody will say thank you. But that's a leg of my business that I never touched, and I'm hoping to add to it. But the bulk of my real estate, they're all referrals, RRs.
My suggestion to kind of summarize what you just said about the whole lotto ticket thing, if you're not getting the calls back, be assertive. Call up the people and just say, hey, you could spin it around and say, hey, listen, I know you didn't win. I just wanted to follow up, make sure I had the right address and email. Did you get it? And just reconnect with them. And I think that in and of itself is yet another opportunity for you just to follow through with them and just confirm that you got the right address, make sure they haven't moved, make sure you've got the right phone numbers and everything in place. And I'll tell you what, buddy, and I've been working with a couple of their LOs this past week about how to reach out to your database and how the conversation kind of goes. And I really have narrowed it down into 3 bullet points. And you guys might want to write this down, but the 3 bullet points are: 1, apologize for not communicating better. Apologize for not being engaged with them more. It's a silly statement, but it brings the humility of your ego to them, and it lowers the expectations for everybody, and it makes everybody feel kind of on a level playing ground, because they're going to respond by going, don't apologize, it's no big deal. And you're going to go, well, I want more, and it'll turn into a conversation where you can get into, listen, I'm calling because I feel bad that I haven't talked to you, and I realized, and this is where the second bullet point comes in, the second bullet point is you've got to try to be an advocate of their life. Meaning, I always pick up the phone with my clients and ask them how I can help them. You've never been into my office, but before the flood, on my wall was a business card holder of 50 business cards that sat right next to my desk. And every time I met with a client, I always brought up the wall, and that was my referable network. which means everything from a girl that made baby cakes, baby diaper cakes, all the way to somebody that was a CPA. And I had, 40 to 50 business cards up there at any time. And the goal was for them to remember that, because when I called them after they closed, it was a great conversation to go, listen, I'm calling because I haven't talked to you in a while, but I just was sitting here and I was thinking about you, and I wanted to know, hey, listen, you know what, if there's something going on in your life, you remember that wall of business cards that I have? Man, if there's ever anybody you might need in your life for something, I would love to help you connect with somebody who you can trust and rely on, who operates in the same way that I operate in. Instantaneous trust, instantaneous relationship. And then my goal with bullet point 2 was to get them to go, God, Dave, thanks for calling. Thanks, Dave, for reaching out to me. I appreciate what you just did. At the moment that you get the wow and the thank you from them, or I appreciate you, is when you end the conversation with, you know what, Dave, I appreciate you saying that. I've told you from day one that my business is 100% relationship based. All I want is for people like you who operate, who are really, really cool people, just to not keep me a secret. I know that people like you hang out with people like you, so birds of a feather flock together. I would love to meet more people just like you. So the next time you're in a conversation with somebody about mortgages or a home or whatever the case may be, can you make a promise to me that you won't keep me a secret to them? Just tell them about me and maybe even help me get in contact with them. Could you do that for me?
Nice.
So if you had that conversation with 5 past clients a week, how can you not create a volume knob for your business? Because every month you're not going to get 40 referrals from realtors. And if you do, you're the goose that lays the golden egg. But your past client database is an opportunity for you to literally fill in the gaps for what your agents don't refer you. Does that make sense, everybody?
Absolutely.
Dave?
Sounds good. It sounds, I mean, I wish I could speak like that. That's my goal. I wish I can articulate to clients, it's.
You know what it takes? Practice.
Yeah,
and the cool part is that your audience doesn't know any different. That's why you sum it up into 3 bullet points.
Yep.
3 bullet points. Apologize for not communicating, fill a need, and the moment they say wow and thank you, you hit them with the don't keep me a secret. If you follow those 3 bullet points, your conversations aren't going to be salesy. You're not going to come across as needy. You're going to make a deposit into their life, and then the law of reciprocity kicks in. And if you factor that into, out of 140 people, I guarantee you 14 of those people end up being people who you can probably count on getting business from, or they end up actually being clients again. Because not every client's going to need a mortgage, but they're all going to know somebody who might need one. Does that make sense?
Nice. Absolutely.
Sure does.
Hey, Margot, are you there? Margot. I thought we could hear her. Oh, can't hear you. She can't hear me.
We
can hear you now.
Okay.
We can hear you now. Thanks, Verizon.
Friggin' buttons on this thing.
So, hey, Margot, what do you do with your past clients when you call them? I know you just did the lottery thing. What was your return? Like, how many people did you get a response from?
Yep, I got emails from, I sent out 100 and, no, I sent out 45, 40,
okay.
45 or 46. And I got emails back from 4 people that basically said, thanks, I hope I win, or thanks, I didn't win, appreciate it. And I called and emailed them back right away and kind of went through what you did, just saying, hey, I just appreciate it, just if you have any questions, that kind of a thing. So I'm still working on that script to get it as smooth as you are.
It's really just coming from the heart. And if you really come across as somebody who really cares about their clients, if you go into it, and I said this to a couple other people as well, when you call your past clients, it's not about being a loan officer at that point. You're not calling them to be a loan officer. You can show up and be a loan officer, and they're going to assume that you're calling them to try and get a loan, but I think you'll find that you'll meet some resistance there. If you call up trying to be an advocate of their life, meaning truly saying, I know 50 people at any given point in time that I could drop them a line and say, hey, can you call so-and-so? And they will call that client and take care of them because they understand the value of my relationships.
Yep.
Point being is that when you do that, I mean, honestly, Dave and Scott both, I'm sure you guys know a ton of people who easily could be of value to clients that you currently know. And all you're doing is trying to make that connection. It's taking the triangle of trust one step farther. Instead of you being the recipient of the income, you can make a deposit in somebody else's life, and then the offshoot is you end up being the recipient of the income because you've made a deposit into their life that they want to repay you for.
Powerful. Nice.
And if 30% of those people, 30%, if we go back to the law of averages, if 30% of those people were successful at finding somebody for you, I mean, oh my God, just consider how much it compounds. And that's on top of the realtor relationships. So if your realtor business is that strong, which Dave, yours sounds like it is, the past clients are just an ancillary or another smaller pillar that you can go to. But if you do it on a regular basis, 1 or 2 past clients a day or 1 client a day, it doesn't take a lot of effort and it doesn't take a lot of energy. And after the end of the year, you've probably yielded about 10% of your past clients doing something with you or referring you somebody.
Wow, I love it.
But yeah, so that we'll shift gears from that because I think that's pretty straightforward. I think anytime you guys market to your database, it's always a great thing, always. But Margot had reached out and said she wanted to know a little bit more about what you say to realtors when you go to lunch. Dave, what do you say when you go to a lunch?
You know, Doug, Doug, can I say something first?
Sure.
Okay. I like the presentation that you do with the airplane, you know, that you do for a borrower and that, and I like that concept, that what it says is that, you know, I'm professional, I choose who I work with and all that, and I wanted to kind of come up with a quick 2 to 3 minute thing about me like that, because my goal is not to talk about me when I meet with them, it's to talk about them. And kind of the marketing animal thing is very little about me, more about them. So I'm looking for like a short 2 to 3 minute powerful statement, and then while that's sinking in, I just start asking questions and learning all about their business and their pain and all that kind of stuff, so that they're going to walk away with something that kind of hit them as different and, you know, not just me puking up rates and stuff. So
I feel like the triangle of trust analogy is the most powerful statement you can use with a realtor to get them to see the benefit of working with you, because it highlights the value you place on their relationship, your ability to cultivate new referrals out of that current client that they referred to you. And I think it's a visual aid that gives them the sense that they can really understand what you mean to them and what they mean to you. And then it allows you to go into the value of working with somebody that does their business only on relationships. And that is managing fears and expectations, the communication piece of that, the understanding of how valuable lifelong relationships can be. There's not another lender out there on the planet who sits down with a realtor and says, every client that you give me, 1 out of every 3 clients that you refer to me, I'm going to be successful at turning them into a referable source, which means that I'm going to get a chance to work with somebody in their life that they know, like, and trust. And assuming that you do the same thing with your business, Mr. Realtor, wouldn't you rather have a partnership with a loan officer that complements your business in that respect? Because let's be honest, I just read a statistic that said 41% of all borrowers, consumers who buy from realtors, get their agent referral from somebody that they know, like, and trust. Not from direct mail, not from any of these other places that are out there. They are literally done by somebody telling them about them. And so when you look at that as the big picture, the power behind that is only magnified when you work with a team of people that does exactly that. You know what I mean? How many loan officers sit down with a realtor and go, I'm really good at getting current client referrals. Here's my lead tracker. Here's my That's why the lead tracker is so powerful. You show up with a lead tracker to your realtor for the last 6 months and go, look at how many current clients, past client referrals I've gotten over the last 6 months. I'm not a transactional lender, and I know you're not a transactional realtor. So I'd love to see if we could find a way to make this relationship work. I think if you show them your lead tracker, you're done, to be honest.
All right. So I want to come up with something.
Sound?
Nice. I like that. I want to come up with a flyer that kind of ties that in, and that I can just leave them with something if I decide if I like what I hear. If I don't like what I hear when I meet with them, because that's my big focus right now, is kicking out the old guys that aren't referring and bringing in some fresh blood.
Can I tell you what you'd be better off doing than sending a flyer?
What?
Sending them a video.
Damn.
Truly. I think a video that explains the triangle of trust, that you can say to your realtor, this is the video that I send out to all my clients before they meet with me. I would like for you to see the same video, and whenever you want to refer me, please send this video to your clients. It'll help them understand who they're going to talk to before they call me.
Doug, are there any examples out there that people are using that we could see what that's about? That sounds amazing.
I'll have one. I'm making that this weekend.
No, I just wonder if someone had already done it. You know,
you guys,
a great idea.
The fact that you guys are on this call, you guys are the only 3 people right now that are really getting the coaching around that mindset. So there's nobody else.
Okay. All right.
So if you created the video,
figure it out. Yep.
If you create the video, you'll be one of the first, and chances are, I believe you'll see some pretty significant. Because I never did a video. I always wanted to.
That's a good idea.
But I was always
great idea, Doug. That's a great idea.
The moment you get a pre-approval, right? Because
before the minute you get
the minute you get a referral, I should say. I'm sorry. Well, most likely, I shouldn't say the word pre-approval. The moment I get a new lead and I take a loan application, or I just have an initial conversation, whatever it is, and I fire up an email after that with my damn big old bald noggin and introducing myself as a person.
Yes.
You know, I think that's. I mean, for me, it might scare off some people. I don't know.
No.
You might want to hire somebody then, Dave.
I might want to hire someone. Yeah, that's a good idea. I might. You know what?
No. Can I be honest with you? Yes. I think you would be far better served if you sent the email and had them watch the video before you got into a conversation with them.
Yep.
Well, I hate that. You know what? There's a lot of times where people just call me and it's an immediate conversation. You know, so hey, I was referred to you by Doug Catter. Oh, great. How you doing? You know, Doug's a great guy. What can I do for you? And it's like, all right. And then I tell them a little bit about myself. I tell them a little about themselves and see if we can help them. And at that point, there's no, hey, let's schedule something. That happens a lot. If I'm sitting here at a computer and I'm doing my work, my phone rings, I'm going to take that call and I'm going to initiate that.
Okay, here's where I want you to break that cycle. And I'm not sure this is going to work for you, but I'd like for you to try it. If while you're doing work and somebody calls you, stop taking the phone call, because it's going to distract you from what you're currently doing. Take the phone call. Simply say, hey, Mr. Client, thanks for taking the time to call me. Oh, I'd love to talk to you more, but I'm currently involved in something right now. I'm currently working on a client's file that I promised that I would take care of it right away. Is there a time that I can call you back? In the meantime, can you just give me your email address? I'd like to send you something so that by the time we call, you have a little bit better understanding of what I'm about. Here's your email address. Boom, send it out to them, get back to what you're doing, and then call them back at that scheduled time. They will always take your call, again, if you tell them that what you're doing at the moment is working on somebody else's file that you promised that you would take care of. Professional courtesy. And the email sent to them gives you a chance to start warming up to them relationally by going, did you have a chance to watch the email? Oh, you didn't? Do you mind just going into your website and just reading it? Because I really want to get your take on it, and then we can get into more details. And as long as your email is not 5 minutes long, it's a no-brainer. Because now they get the formula.
Go ahead. See what you did.
Oh, I was just saying, is that scripting? Is that the scripting that Mark had done, put like huge effort to, on one of the earlier calls, like last month?
Huh? Yep.
Is that the scripting for that?
It's very similar to that, but I don't believe
Okay.
you have that much time. I really think that the conversation when you send somebody an email is really about, hey, my name is Dave Flashner. I've built the relationship business centered around past clients, current clients, and people who know, like, and trust me. The fact that you're calling me right now means that somebody in your life was compelled to do so based on their experience with me. I take that very seriously. I built a business around what's called a triangle of trust, and I can't wait to explain it in detail to you. But at the end of the day, it puts your goals, your needs, your wants, your desires at the forefront of every decision and every conversation that I have with you, because my ultimate goal is for you to go back to the referral source and say thank you, and then eventually have you become an advocate of my business, because that's how my business grows. I can't wait to talk to you soon. Dave Flashner.
Doug,
Damn.
wait.
Damn.
Doug,
Who was
you
tape
say that
recording
one more
that?
time and let me tape it. Hold on.
Guys,
Oh, this is recorded, right? This is recorded,
this call
right?
is being recorded. This call is being recorded.
You didn't goof up like you didn't forget to hit the record button, did you?
Seconds worth
Nope,
of,
it's being recorded.
damn it.
All right, so man, that is good.
You don't. You guys understand?
good.
Can you see how when somebody calls you and you tell them that you have to call them back, it creates a sense of I'm a doctor. I run a practice. I can't just drop everything and take care of you right now. That's a very needy based business. When you tell somebody, I would love to talk to you, but unfortunately I'm involved in something right now, let me call you back, that sets the scarcity model in place. And if you forward them an email and they read about it, by the time you're picking up the phone, do you not think that they're sitting there like a Labrador wagging their tail, waiting for you to talk to them?
Damn it.
Wow. That's awesome.
Dave, do you see any value in that?
I do. I mean, I do. And for me, and it works so much better because half the time I'm at the firehouse and I can't take the call, and I could just always say I'm on the other line with another client. Let me send you this, and I'll get back to you. That works for the calls that I miss, or But what you said to me earlier is my Achilles heel. And if you ask me what you want to talk about, it's staying in my schedule and not getting off track. And I can go days without doing what I'm supposed to do on my schedule because I'm taking all calls, I'm answering emails, and just following up on leads, and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
So you can structure your business to create a sense of professionalism, and I wouldn't ever say, hey, listen, I'm on the other line with somebody, because then it makes you seem again needy, and it makes them feel like you're putting somebody else on hold for them. My honest opinion would be answer the phone call and say, you know what, Mr. Jones, hey, thanks for calling. Literally give yourself a minute to talk to them. Hey, Mr. Jones, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. Oh, God, yeah, you know what, I would love a chance to spend more time in detail with you, but unfortunately, I'm currently involved in a project with another current client that I'm trying to exceed expectations with. Can you give me a little bit to call you back? What would be a good time? And then you pick a time. And then what you do and say, oh, listen, I have callback times between 5 and 7 today. Let me call you between those 2 hours. When between that time would be best? And in the meantime, here's an email that I'm going to send you with a quick video so you get a little bit of better understanding about who I am. So when we talk, you'll understand where I'm coming from, because I think it's really valuable for you to understand what I'm about and why I do things the way that I do it. And it'll help you understand how blessed I am to have you as an opportunity to work with. That's how I did it.
That's awesome.
But I never sent a video.
It.
I always just picked up the phone and talked to them because I'm better. I always articulated it that way. But it gives you a chance to only have to say it once, and you can script it and do it over and over again, and then the message becomes consistent.
Yeah, you gotta do it once. Put a little bio in it, right? And then the video.
No.
No bio.
It's not about. No, the email is literally just the link. It literally is just the video. And say, hey, this is Dave Flashner. Here's the email. I promise you, just take a look. It's literally 2 minutes long. Can't wait to talk to you later tonight. As soon as you make it all about you, you're trying to sell them on your credentials. And the reality is the call that we had or the script that I just gave you, it makes it all about them. Everything that you say about the triangle of trust makes it all about them. You wouldn't be getting a referral if you didn't have the credentials, brother.
Yeah.
That make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, I do the same thing, Dave, trying to put my resume with everything, just, and Doug's right. I almost tried to do all the referral, all the stuff on there, almost like a resume, with the credibility thing, and Doug's right.
Have you ever been to a doctor's office where they list their resume to you before you go in and meet with them?
No, no.
I've never.
Oh, but we do it with our emails, with all the links, to everything, and
it's all ego advertising. The truth is that if you were able to find a way to make it all about the client, subconsciously the client feels like they can trust you because they feel like they're important to you.
Oh, that's powerful.
You're getting away from the commoditization of who you are. You don't want people to judge you based on your resume. You want them to judge you because they know, like, and trust you. And knowing you is not knowing your history. Knowing you is believing that what you're telling them is true. Trusting is living up to that expectation. And liking you is because you're a personable person. So that's my 2 cents about that.
That's worth $1.50.
What's that?
I said it's worth $1.50.
Seriously.
Yeah.
And that's without any coupons.
I know.
There you go.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So I like that for you, Dave, because I think being that is your Achilles heel, you've got to learn to set the stage, and it can be done exceptionally well to make you bigger because of the scarcity model. You work your ass off, and you don't want to lose that business. I'm not saying put the call to voicemail every time. I'm saying if you're in the middle of something, pick up the phone, give yourself literally a minute to a minute and a half to build a quick little rapport, and tell them I'm in the middle of something that has to do with delivering a high, whatever you want to say, that basically says I'm involved with a client, I'm trying to exceed their expectations, I'm in the middle of something that's very important, can I call you back? Great. In the meantime, here's an email, send it off. If they're calling you and they want to talk to you, chances are by the time you call them back, you're not going to be judged based on your rates. You might be, but the likelihood of somebody taking your call again in 2 hours means that whoever answers it is probably a better fit for your business model than somebody who won't.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense, as always.
Okay. So, Margot.
Yes.
What do you talk to a realtor about when you talk to them?
I try to make, it's usually a lunch, not a coffee, and I try to make the first 5 minutes about, kind of how I am. It depends if it's somebody I've worked with before, or if it's a cold, never worked with them.
Let's start with it. Let's start for everybody on the call. Let's just start with the realtors that you've never closed a transaction with.
I start out by letting them know a little bit about my background, and not background, but that I work by referral, that I'm very relational, I am choosy who I work with, those types of things. And then I dive right into talking about them. All I want to know is everything about them, and I just keep asking questions until it's time to leave.
Right. Has that worked well for you?
Yeah, I generally get, I haven't had anybody say, well, no, I'm happy with the person I am. I generally get the, sure, I'd love to work together, but I want to, my thing is I tend to get pulled into conversations and get too specific. So I wanted to be able to maybe even shorten it up a bit, because it seems like it always takes an hour, but, be able to shorten it up a bit and get it more streamlined. I just like that, using that triangle of trust, and I thought if there was a way to make it, and you've done it, you already said it, so that's what I'm going to do, is replay this thing and come up with that as the beginning of it.
I think it would be a great one to do, one for clients and one for agents.
Yep. out of that whole, because that's what I want to get across, is that, you know, and then make it about them and find out what their pain is and say, we'll tell you, you know, that's all the basic stuff that, you know.
Right,
That's
right. I think anytime that you can say something that they've never heard before, you differentiate it, because then what you do is you get the same response that you're giving me. If you can articulate that to a realtor, you can teach a realtor to say the same thing to their clients. You can teach them how to become a triangle of trust realtor, and how you can teach them how to get more current client referrals. Everything that I'm teaching you is a tool that you can turn around and teach your agents. And just by them sitting down with you and listening to that, that is a great lead into, I've already given you a strategy and a tool that will help you with your business. And they won't even realize it until you explain to them what you told them about the way you do business is the way that you want to work with other realtors who operate the same way. And if you ask a realtor, would they ever like to learn how to get more current client referrals? Do you think a single realtor would go, no, I'm all good?
Yeah. No.
Just look at your reactions. What do you think a realtor's reaction is going to be?
Yep. No, I agree. I think that's great. Hurry up and send the recording so I can download it, write my script, and get this thing recorded, and I'm going to start using it.
Good, good, good. I love it. I mean, for me, I always believe that when you set the stage for what you're doing, before you talk about anything with regards to a mortgage, is the best time to get people to understand why you say what you say. That's why I don't want Dave, that's why I don't want you taking application before you've had a chance to send them that video. I really don't want you doing anything until they've seen the video or you've been able to communicate that right out of the gate.
I gotta make that video.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my friend, it literally can be, I mean, seriously, you can literally hold the phone up to yourself and do a selfie recording and record it on your iPhone and send it. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. To be honest, the more raw it is, the more real it feels like, and it very easily could be the more appropriate it is for the situation.
I agree.
Oh, so don't get the Laker girl.
No. I'm not saying that, but if you get the Laker girls, I want the video. Okay, you're only gonna send that video to me.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. But in all fairness, Dave, you want to be you. Yeah. You just want to be you. And one of the you guys have to realize something. Who you are, and I've heard Carl White say this, and it really helped me. You really have to understand that who you are is what everybody likes. So if you record yourself, the image that you're seeing, though it's not your ideal self in your eyes, it's the ideal self that everybody sees.
If you guys could find it, I know it's probably about a year ago, maybe even longer than that. There was a video done by one of Carl's clients. Her name is Julie. She's out of California.
And she's the loan officer that did that promo video.
Phenomenal video. It was so real. It was so I was like, man, that is awesome. She did it like, hey, my job is, you know, I don't have an office. My office is everywhere. And it was just really well done. I'm sure she spent some money on it because it was just edited and it was just like, it was
a ton.
You know, but it was powerful, and I'm sure that intro worked for her.
Here's the challenge that I had with that video. It was an awesome video if you were watching it to learn how she did it. It's not an awesome video when you consider that the attention span of most consumers on something on video is literally about 30 to 40 seconds. And after that, about 70% of the people watching the video fall off, and then within the next 10 seconds, 80% of that 30% that are left are off the video. You don't have 3 to 4 minutes of a video. You don't. You really don't. And so to be honest, your best opportunity is to be as concise and as quick to the point and as articulate as you can be. And so if you choose to use what I said, I think what I said took less than 30, maybe 40 seconds.
Yep.
You will get 100% of the people looking at that video to watch the entire thing.
That makes sense, yeah.
So I love the promotional videos. I think those are fantastic. But I think, again, it goes back to you're communicating something that on video, most people will never finish watching. They'll get bored because our minds are trained to. If we don't see the value in it, for me, within the first 30 seconds, I'm done. I don't really care about all this because it's all about her. Do you understand? It was all about her. Now I think the videos to your realtors might be longer or could be longer, but I think it's a quick shot, boom, done. And your value is when you talk to them, reiterating it and spending a little bit more time in dialogue and conversation. Comprende?
Yep.
Comprende.
Is this helpful?
Yes. Very.
Oh, yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Good, good.
Good stuff,
Good.
as always.
Hey, Doug,
Good
got a quick question.
Yeah.
With that link, I mean, obviously email, you're saying, can you do it by a text or no, as far as a link? Or like if you're getting the call in on a phone, or no?
You know what? Does everybody use a Savvy card?
Yes, I do.
Can't you put a video on your Savvy card?
Maybe this is the one I put on there. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
I mean, if I was using a Savvy card, I would definitely use that video as my Savvy card.
Bingo, yeah.
So can you, like your Savvy card, I've heard of it, I never did it. You could forward that to a link to somebody?
No, it's basically you send it to their phone. You send it to their phone, and it's your calling card. It's your business card. It has your contact information. It has everything they need, and when they pull it up, they can click on the button, and it actually shoots the video of you. It's a video of you talking.
But you know, Doug, that makes them have to get the card, download the link. There's a lot more. I had that Savvy card for a while, and I have Mortgage Tap or Map or whatever it's called now, which is the same thing. Just
but to have it as a button is a great. I think it's a great idea to have it as a button. You know, maybe not.
You have to install the software first, and that's what somebody's not going to do. If I've never talked to you before, I'm not downloading some link.
Right. I totally agree. Totally agree. I didn't know that part of it. But I think if you can just send them an email, if you're on the phone with them and say, listen, can I send you an email? I don't care if it's a link. I don't care if it's embedded in the email. I don't think it really matters. I just think that whatever you do, your conversation needs to start after they've had a chance to watch that video.
Yep.
I think it changes a ton. Absolutely, Nikki. Yeah. I love it. I'm doing it.
So, and on all fairness, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I mean, look at all the LOs. Like Troy Jones sends an email once a week about his video. It's his mobile phone app tip of the week. Yep. He literally shoots it on his phone, holding it while he talks about it, and I watch it. And if you were to have one just like that you've done, I mean, you could make it a little bit more professional and put it on a stand or whatever you want to do. But truly, it's and then you can evolve it from there. But I think if it gains some traction with you and it helps you structure your business and segregate your duties and makes you more present when you call a client, because Dave, to be honest, when you're picking up the phone talking to a client and you're shifting gears, it probably takes you 10 minutes of talking to that client to be completely free of whatever you were just doing because your mind is still downloading the information from what you were just working on.
Yep.
You're not really present for your client, which means you're not really engaged at the fullest level.
You're disservicing two clients, the one you were working on.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep.
And I don't remember what your conversion rate, Dave, was in 2015, but I know you said you wanted to improve that conversion rate.
Mm-hmm.
This might be a strategy to help you do that.
Yeah. Quality as well, not quantity. It's
you got it.
Like I said, I took a bunch of loan apps. It's not all. I'm not going to. Half of them are denied. I got to go through the numbers to see where we're at. I'm hoping that 40% of them I'm going to buy houses, and maybe I'll close 25% of that. So and not all, some of them are junk, and it's not about, like I said, it's not about quality, it's quantity.
No, it's all about quality, not quantity.
Did I say that backwards?
Yeah.
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 We know what you meant.
Know what I meant.
I completely know what you meant.
Thank you.
All right, guys. I'm gonna end the call. I'm gonna hit the conversion button, get this link redone, and I'll send you guys the replay hopefully before I leave today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great afternoon, guys.